Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest football transfer news, and we're starting with Arsenal because it's deal done for Victor Gyokeres. He will be an Arsenal player. That little stalemate from last week appears to be over. What is it about Arsenal and Gyökeres and doing things on a Sunday as well? It was last night that David Ornstein got active in this Arsenal transfer saga, and effectively Arsenal Gyökeres have done a deal that satisfies Sporting, and it all just comes down to the fact that Gyökeres and his agent are going to waive some sort of fee which allows Arsenal's offer to basically be what Sporting wants. Arsenal don't pay what Sporting wants, but the money comes in a different way. So amicable, grown up, mature, and ultimately everybody gets what they want. It's a little bit of a shame that it ends sourly with Gyökeres and Sporting after what has been a great relationship, but this is football, this is how it works. Gyökeres gets his move, Arsenal get their striker. And I think that's the big thing really here. There may well be bigger transfers to come in this summer transfer window. We'll talk about Liverpool, we'll talk about Chelsea in a moment, but let's talk about what this means for Arsenal, because this is a striker. This is a striker that we've spoken about on this channel, and many people have spoken about plenty of times over the last 2 years. Arsenal need a striker. Speaking to Arsenal fans last year, many of them felt it was a disgrace that they didn't get that striker last year. And if they'd had it, maybe a semi-final in the Champions League could have been a final or better. Maybe they would have been closer to Liverpool. So they had to do this. It's taken too long. In relation to, they should have had one last year. They've now got one, but what a striker they have. I mean, look, I would have loved this player at Manchester United. I'd have took him every day of the week. It's a player that Amrim built in that Sporting system, and he will be the main man for Arsenal. He's got to play every week. He's got to get service, and I think he will. And I think that where people say there's limitations to his game, I've heard people talk about him being like Lukaku. I've heard people saying he's going to flop because it's the Portuguese league, like Darwin Núñez. I think that underestimates and devalues what Gyökeres has done. I mean, he should have won the European Golden Boot. It's only because of this stupid rule about, your goals only count for one, and if you're in the top 5 leagues, it counts as 1.5, that gave it to Mbappe. I think he's got a great opportunity to come into Arsenal. I look at the amount of balls that get put into that box, especially by people like Saka, that a striker doesn't go for because they don't have one. I think if Arsenal service him with 3 good chances a game, he's going to score a lot of goals. He might get 5 good chances a game. But if they give him 3 good chances a game, which is what you'd expect, it's what Erling Haaland has thrived on for the last few years, then he'll score goals because he's got a wonderful shot, he's very powerful, he's very quick, he can carry the ball, he can link up the play. People talk about he takes penalties and this, that and the other. It's irrelevant. Saka will probably still take penalties. He will score goals from open play, and that is what Arsenal have needed. Of course, there's going to be people that hope that he flops, but this is the signing, in a way, that would be the signing at the start of the summer that you said if you give Arsenal one player, this is the player that should push them closer to the title. There will be an expectation that Arsenal win the league now. That would be massively offensive to the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool and potentially Man City, because they've had good summers as well. But it takes Arsenal to that next step. It gives them what they need. Do you think he'll be successful? Honestly, I would have preferred them to get Sesko. I think Arsenal with Gyökeres is about as good as it gets in relation to what the market's there. And I think it makes it very, very interesting. And of course, Arsenal aren't going to stop there. Mascara, the centre-back's going to come in. There's still talk of Eze. There's talk of Bayern Munich taking Trossard, which gives them more money. So Arsenal haven't stopped there. They already have Zubimendi. Madueke's going to get announced today. Norgaard's there. It's scary what is happening in the Premier League at the moment. And when you look at Chelsea winning the Club World Cup, congratulations to them. We watched it last night. They deservedly beat the best team in the world, which is PSG, as we saw in the Champions League. That they're a fantastic side, and Chelsea deservedly beat them. Very much reminded me of the way Crystal Palace won the FA Cup. It's not park the bus, it's defend well, it's be effective when you get your chances, and they comprehensively won the game. But that's a Premier League side showing teams you can beat PSG. that's a Premier League side that wasn't in the Champions League last year. That's a Premier League side that's in the top 4, not in a title race yet. Now, Chelsea's aspirations are to win the Champions League and to win the Premier League again, and they're definitely on the trajectory to do that. But you look at what they're doing in the market. You look at what Arsenal and Liverpool are doing in the market. We know about Manchester City. It's interesting that Florentino Perez and co wanted a Super League to benefit the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. We now have a Super League and it's benefiting the Premier League massively. I mean, look at the money that Chelsea have made in the last 2 months. They're in the Champions League. That's going to guarantee them £100 million in revenue. They win the Club World Cup. It's nearly another £100 million in revenue. That's £200 million in revenue. Nobody in world football can deal with that. I mean, Chelsea could go and buy more players again. Like, it's not just the Premier League, it's the Champions League. The Premier League clubs should start winning the Champions League on the regular now. Like, we have the best players, we have the best squads. Yes, PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona can still compete to a certain level, but Barcelona really haven't added anything to one of the best teams in Europe. Look at what Arsenal have done, look at what Liverpool have done, look at what Chelsea are doing, look what Man City have done. They're adding to teams from last year with 3, 4, 5, 6 players. And that's just going to continue. Is it a concern? It's a concern. I don't think we're going to see the Premier League of last year again. I think that the whole anybody can beat anybody is going to change the stronger the top 4 get, and they're going to get stronger every year. But they're not committing any crimes. If Chelsea hadn't gotten in the top 4 and Villa had, they'd be in the same position. So I just think it's going to become increasingly difficult to compete with the 4 teams that keep getting the Champions League every year. And I think that's the plan for Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool. Give us your thoughts on that. In relation to Liverpool, by the way, just interesting, a story coming in this morning that the agents of Sesko have contacted Liverpool to gauge their interest in him. I mean, I cannot see Liverpool going for Sesko anyway, but I cannot believe that they would go for Sesko knowing that it was the player that Arsenal wanted second. I don't know. I mean, look, stranger things have happened, but I think Ekitike is the player to keep an eye on with Liverpool. I think Liverpool had that pre-season game yesterday. I think that marks them starting their season. And I think this week we will see Liverpool back in the transfer market, resolving the Luis Diaz situation, signing Guehi from Crystal Palace, and looking at the forward situation and moving Darwin Nunez on. I don't think they're going to go for Sesko. I think that we are going to see more and more deals now as teams go into their second week of the Premier League pre-season campaign. A lot of teams are going to be heading out on tour in about a week's time. So I think we will see more and more activity, of course. And I think that there has to be a reaction from the rest of the Premier League because a lot of teams have still been very, very quiet. And I think that we're in for a very interesting Premier League title race. That doesn't mean somebody's not going to run away with it. I mean, how many summers have we got excited about, oh, it's such and such has done this. Doesn't mean that someone's not going to start the season like a train. I think the big question this morning is, can Chelsea win the Premier League? They've actually got a very favourable start to the season. I looked at their first 6 games and there's not really a difficult game there. Like some people would say Man United, there's not really a difficult game there. Whereas we know Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City have got some tough games in their first 4 or 5 games. So Chelsea, if they can get through that first 6 games with maximum points or near enough, yes, there's going to be a bit of a strange start to the season because they haven't had a proper rest. But momentum can do a lot of things. I think Chelsea winning the league is a step too far, but they've got to get a goalkeeper. I know Sanchez played well, but I think they need a goalkeeper. That's my thoughts. Get your comments in. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Hopefully a busy week ahead in the transfer window in the Premier League. Thanks for watching. Take care.